Justin Drew Bieber was born on the 1st of March 1994 in London, Ontario, Canada, and Edward Christopher Sheeran was born on February 17, 1991 in Halifax, West Yorkshire, England. They are two of the biggest chart toppers of the past decade. In this video, we'll look at their history and compare them in multiple categories: chart performance, sales, total streams, critics score, award achievements, and touring, to decide who has had the biggest impact on pop music. In 2004, at the age of 13, Ed Sheeran independently released his first collection of work, titled Spinning Man. Justin Bieber's mother posted a video of his performance of Ne-Yo's So Sick to YouTube. Scooter Braun then discovered Bieber scrolling on YouTube, and at the age of 13, Bieber went to Atlanta with him to record demo tapes. Justin Bieber was then signed to Raymond Braun Music Group, a joint venture between Scooter Braun and Usher. In 2008, Ed Sheeran moved to London and began playing small venues. Justin Bieber was signed to Island Records in October 2008. His first single, One Time, was released to radio in May 2009. Ed Sheeran released another EP, You Need Me, in November 2009. In February 2010, Ed released Loose Change EP, which featured his debut single, The A-Team. Justin Bieber released his debut studio album, My World 2.0, in March 19, 2010. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 283,000 copies in his first week. Justin Bieber became the first artist to have 7 songs from a debut album chart on the Billboard Hot 100. The album was certified quadruple platinum by the RIAA. In Los Angeles in 2010, Ed Sheeran was invited to perform at the Foxhole, a club ran by Jamie Foxx.
So all of a sudden I say, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Sheeran. He pops out. With a little red hair and a ukulele.
On November 26, 2010, Justin released My World Acoustic, which sold 115,000 copies in his first week. On the 8th of January 2011, Ed Sheeran released another independent EP, number 5 Collaborations Project. It reached number 2 on the iTunes chart without any promotion or label, selling over 7,000 copies in his first week. Justin then released Never Say Never, the remixes, on February 14, 2011, to accompany his film Justin Bieber Never Say Never. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 179,000 copies in his first week. On September 9, 2011, Ed Sheeran released his debut studio album, Plus. It debuted on number 5 on the Billboard 200, selling 42,000 copies in its first week. To date, it has sold more than 7.4 million copies. On the 1st of November 2011, Justin released his first Christmas album, Under the Mistletoe. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 210,000 copies in its first week. Then Bieber released his third studio album, Believe, on June 15, 2012. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200 with first week sales of 374,000 copies. He then released Believe Acoustic on January 29, 2013. The album went to number 1 on the Billboard 200 albums chart, becoming his 5th number 1 album. Justin then released his second compilation album, Journals, on December 23, 2013. It did not rank on the Billboard 200 due to its first week sales going unreported. It has been certified gold by the RIAA. Ed Sheeran released Multiply on June 20, 2014. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200 with first week sales of 210,000 copies. The album spent 74 consecutive weeks in the top 10 of the UK albums chart, surpassing 21's 71-week record. Justin Bieber released his 4th studio album, Purpose, on November 13, 2015. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200 with 649,000 copies in its first week. To date, it has sold more than 14 million copies worldwide. Ed Sheeran released Divide on the 3rd of March 2017. It was the best-selling album globally of 2017 with 6.1 million copies worldwide. Ed Sheeran released number 6 Collaborations Project on July 12, 2019. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200 with 173,000 album equivalent units. To date, it has sold more than 2.5 million copies worldwide. Justin Bieber dropped Changes on February 14, 2020. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200 with 231,000 album equivalent units. On March 19, 2021, JB released his latest album, Justice. Justice and Peaches both held the number 1 spots on the Billboard 200 and the Hot 100, making Bieber the first solo male artist to do so. The album debuted atop the Billboard 200, selling 154,000 album equivalent units, equals as Ed Sheeran's latest studio album released on October 21, 2021. It debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200 with 118,000 album equivalent units sold. Now let's compare their achievements. First is chart performance. On the Billboard Hot 100, Justin Bieber has 8 number 1 songs and Ed has 2 number 1 songs, so Justin wins that. Justin has 26 top 10 hits, while Ed has 9, so Justin wins that. And Justin has 104 entries on the Billboard Hot 100, while Ed has 52, so Justin wins that. On the Billboard 200 albums chart, Justin has 8 number 1 albums, while Ed has 4, so Justin wins that. The next is career sales. For single sales, Justin has sold 108.5 million digital singles, while Ed has sold 80.5 million, so Justin wins that. And for album sales, Justin has sold 22.2 million albums in the US, while Ed has sold 14 million, so Justin wins that. And for total streams, Justin has 41.5 billion streams on Spotify, and Ed has 40.2 billion, so Justin wins that. For critic score, Justin has an average Metacritic score of 62, and Ed has an average Metacritic score of 62, so it's a tie there. For total award wins, Drake has 49 major awards, while Taylor has 87 major awards. Taylor wins that. Justin Bieber has grossed a total of $519 million on his concert tours, while Ed's Divide Tour alone has grossed more than $775 million. It is the highest grossing tour of all time, so Ed wins that. These two have had a major impact on music of the 2010s and beyond, and will be looked at as legends in a couple of years. Both are incredible. Both have had a global influence on music, but the bigger artist according to the numbers is Justin Bieber.